became the Israeli Conor McGregor. Like everybody knows the sport, everybody's following the sport. I was there to make sure his opponents make it out of there alive. So that's when he made it personal, and I said, okay, I'm gonna smash him. In my eyes, he's the best fighter in the world.
If you're saying he's the best fighter in the world, is he better than you then?
And it's basically just to remind you, you have someone above you, so like, don't think you're something. Stay humble. Hopefully, we're gonna make this place one of the best organizations in the world and the biggest.
Top Sport Kazino lažybos. Top Sport lažybos. Dalyvaudamas azartiniuose lošimuose gali prarasti ne tik pinigus.
Už greitį,
už vėją,
už garsą,
už viską, kas yra ir dar bus. 1000 priežasčių mylėti sportą ir savo klubą Gym Plus.
Tavo verslui reikia erdvės. Erdvės idėjoms ir kūrybiškumui. Tai erdvės pripildytos inovacijų ir pažangių sprendimų. Nordspace – išmaniai valdomi verslo boksai.
Well, we had a little conversation with your dad in the background, correct? No? No?
Daddy, is that old?
You don't look old.
And he's not a father material at all. He went to bring milk.
Wow.
He went to get milk.
Okay, so I thought, guys, you now explain to me. So the Gordon family, how big is it? Because
It only gets bigger. It only gets bigger.
how big is the Gordon family?
He's the oldest. You're the naughty uncle.
from
You're
mom's
the
Uh-huh.
And we have 2 more from the father's side.
So this is your oldest brother?
From my mom's side.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
And we have 2 more older than him from the father's side.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in total, there are 6 brothers?
9.
9, wow.
Yeah, we're 9 siblings.
This is a big fighting family, as I understand. So is everyone involved in your family with fighting?
Involved, we're 3 fighters and 1 coach.
Okay.
So that's the most involved, but everybody's surrounded it.
Right. So the 2 of the fighters we got here right now, that is Ahavat and Ruach Gordon, and both of you are fighting on UTMA 18 card. And this is a special podcast because we usually do them in Lithuanian, and for a special reason, we are doing it in English because we got 2 high-level fighters coming in, and you're coming back for your 3rd fight. Ruach, you're about to make your debut in UTMA in Lithuania. Is it a bit surreal that you're sitting in, of all the countries in the world, in Lithuania before a fight with your brother on a podcast? Is that a little bit like mind-boggling or not?
If you would have told me a year ago this would happen, I was saying, what? Lithuania? Nah, no. But now it just, everything like comes together and feels nice, you know.
Mm-hmm. And what about you, Ruach? Have you heard of Lithuania before your brother signed to fight here?
No, I heard of this place before.
Okay.
Yeah. Since like previous competitions, you know, I've seen some fighters there too. But yeah, like the big connection to Lithuania only got into since like Ahavat started fighting here.
Yeah.
You know, so that's like when it started feeling like, you know, it's a major country I visit now. You know, I feel more connected to the culture, to the people, to the organization.
I like that you're saying a major country when we're just a country of 3 million people in population.
No, I mean like the meaning of the country is like the meaning for us.
For you personally right now, like it feels different, right? And for you, Ahavat, I feel like it could start feeling like second home now. Because at least on the podcast where we were predicting all the results, we were saying someone picked Someone picked against you, actually. One of our co-hosts picked your opponent, and we said, "Oh, so you're just picking against all Lithuanians?" And then someone said, "Wait, Ahavat's not Lithuanian." But then we sort of assumed you're Lithuanian now because you keep fighting here. We're seeing you as a local fighter in a sense. So, do you feel like this is becoming your second home, considering it's your third fight here already?
Yeah, like 100%. It definitely feels like my second home here in Lithuania, because like the love I get from the people here, it's really crazy. I didn't imagine it to happen, but after my first fight, I felt the people coming to me all around, even though like I won a part Lithuanian fighter. So I still got a lot of love, and I remembered it for them, and I got a lot of messages. So because of that, I felt like a really big connection with the people. So when I come to fight here, like I get cheered from both sides, Israeli side and Lithuanian side. So I came with the pin to represent.
Oh yeah, I see.
Like
nice.
Israel and like my love to Lithuania, and I think it's gonna be like a beginning of something big. It's gonna happen, and hopefully we're gonna make this place one of the best organizations in the world and the biggest.
I hope so too. Ruach, did you feel the urge that you want to fight here too when you saw your brother fight here? Did you feel like, oh, I want to do it as well? Because, it seems like not a perfect place, but close to it in a sense of what it gives you as a fighter in terms of promotion, the high quality, all the stuff that's around this organization. Did you feel the urge you wanted to fight here too?
Yeah, 100%. For me as like a fighter, I've been fighting much more in Thailand. And the feeling you just get from fighting here, maybe like I will not meet here some good fighters that I've met before, but like it's always like open to bring them in the future. But the thing that standed out the most is like, that UTMA is like so unpolitical organization. They just let whoever you are represent where you come from, what you are, and they don't bring politics into the sport, which is like the most beautiful thing to see.
And as I understand, that was one of the major reasons you guys even came to fight here, because of the other organizations being political, correct?
Yeah, everybody brought politics into the sport we love, and the politics ruins the sport. We want to keep it like the sportsmanship. Doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. Fight for the sport, and I really believe through the sport we could have like a true unity, and that's what we're looking for. And when you get all the love and you can be who you are, and it's like UTMA. That's why I feel the connection with UTMA is like so. I never had this connection with any organization that I feel like loved, and they want me, and I could be who I am. And for any people, like you can't just be who you are. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. If you're a good fighter, you get promoted and have good sportsmanship. That's all you need.
Yeah. Well, we're looking at you as one of the obviously rising young stars, and I do say star because you look at the numbers that your let's say highlights generate, or just the support you have. Like you corrected me in one of the press conferences when I said thousands watching at home. You said no, millions watching at home, and that's visible. And I feel like that it's a mutual feeling. Like you're feeling love to the organization. I feel like the organization definitely loves you back because of the talent you bring in, and all the attention from all Israeli fans. And I wanted to actually ask you about this. You mentioned sport and combat sports, the scene in Israel. What is the combat sports scene in Israel? Because like we were talking before the podcast, here in Lithuania, it's all about basketball. And it was always about basketball. And then UTMA started. And in like 3 years, it became possible to sell out Žalgiris Arena for a fighting event when it was never even conceivable before. So let's compare. Like in Lithuania, it's a new growing thing. UTMA has done a brilliant job doing so. How is it in Israel? How is the combat scene there?
So you could say it has martial arts in Israel before the Gordons and after the Gordons. I don't think it has anybody in Israel that doesn't know like Gordon and Muay Thai martial arts. It became something huge that in a night after like I think my last fight, everybody just looking, and like other fighters get they get exposed as well. Not only us now, and everybody's getting news, articles, and Instagram, social media is growing. like suddenly and overnight it became, I think, like in the level of maybe just under football, as football is like number one in Israel, football, soccer, don't you say? So it became something really like everybody knows what is it, and I think we made history in the last event. 100%. I don't think it has a house in Israel that didn't see the fight.
Wow.
So it's in Israel like 9 million people. And even if people not like all the Israelis around the world and people around the world watch the fight. So it's a lot of eyes and history.
The Jewish
made.
community around the world too, not only the Israelis, because like it was like not only showed to Israel, it was like shared like to over all the Jewish channels around the world. So it was globalized.
And Ruach, you started training in the sport before your brother, as I understand, correct? Because you're the youngest of all, so you were following your brother's footsteps the whole way, right? How did you get into the sport? Was it your elder brothers, or was it? Did you just decide that you want to do this for the love of Muay Thai, or how did you go to here?
The reason I started was because my brother, but the reason I continued is because of the love to Muay Thai. The reason I kept training and fighting consistently because of the love.
Right. And was Muay Thai the first choice? Was it ever kickboxing, MMA? Like, did you ever consider not starting in Muay Thai necessarily, but in those other disciplines? And especially knowing, you know, the biggest organizations of combat sports. If you look at MMA, it's obviously UFC. If you look at kickboxing, it's Glory. When it comes to Muay Thai, you got the Thailand scene, obviously. You got one championship, but generally speaking, it's if you're talking about making money, it seems like UFC is the way to go. Maybe Glory kickboxing is the way to go. Why Muay Thai?
Yeah, I didn't like look at money or stuff like that too much or fame. I just wanted like, I remember watching fights back home from the stadiums back in Thailand. You know, you got the best fighters in the world, and that was my dream, just to get there and fight and compete. And I made that dream come true. I did get there, and I fought the best of the world, and I beat them. And now I feel like it's a point of time to, you know, do become famous and do become to get the exposure you need to, you know, because there's many good fighters like Muay Thai fighters that you don't hear about. And I believe like as I kind of made the dream of my young self come true as to beat the best fighters in the world in the most legendary stadium in the world. Now this next step is like, you know, to get the sport more to give the sport more fame it deserves. Because, you know, Muay Thai with smaller gloves and Muay Thai in general with the elbows, you know, with the special techniques, it's like one of the most beautiful thing to see. It's violence, it's clean, it's technique, it's crazy.
It's super popular in the eastern side of the world, obviously, in Thailand, of course, in Asia generally. But the western side, it feels like it's still growing to love it. And do you think, like, Ahavat, with just Muay Thai, because I've listened to one of your interviews, very early interviews when you were 17, I believe, and the audio wasn't great, but you were saying that, you know, the ultimate plan is to go MMA. But do you feel like it could be that your career is just Muay Thai, that you're a Muay Thai fighter forever?
I always said like to go to MMA it's to go to the UFC because I want the statement of being the best in the world, you know, and like I think the statement is over there. But about like you're saying, you know, people go into the why don't you go to boxing? Why don't you go straight to MMA? You know, when they're saying the money's there, I always answer, you know, if it happened there, it could happen in Muay Thai. Why not in Muay Thai? I think Muay Thai is more entertaining. You just need someone. Like the UFC had Conor McGregor, the MMA had Conor McGregor, and the boxing had Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, and Muhammad Ali. So you just need a star, and I always said I'm gonna be the star to make it exposed for the world, and you could really make big money from there. Because the second people understand how entertaining Muay Thai. And when you bring in like the press conference and when you make people emotionally involved, that's a switch. and I think I know we can do it.
So has it switched in your head that maybe you're not going to be chasing MMA later on, or that's not necessarily the next step in your career, that you can just stay in Muay Thai, as you say, maybe become the star to follow, and that way popularize the sport that's been, let's say, a little bit in the shadows of the other ones that we just mentioned?
So hopefully, I am gonna continue with the Muay Thai until it gets the exposure, and I'll make a big name for myself, and then I'll leave it on for the people to continue, and I will chase my dream, to be the best fighter. It means I need jiu-jitsu, I need wrestling, and to take a UFC belt. That's my biggest dream. But I'll make something big, and people will continue it.
So do you guys feel like to be the ultimate fighter, to be the best in the world, you have to show that you're capable of stand-up and the ground game as well? You can't call yourself that until you got...
You could say the best Muay Thai fighter in the world, but the best fighter, means you need to know everything.
Right. That's probably your opinion as well, Ruach?
Yeah, I look at everything very specifically. So, if you say, yeah, I'm the best fighter in the world, okay, there's boxing, there's kickboxing, there's different discipline to everything. So, yeah, I mean, as for me personally, right now, I still I feel more connected to striking and fighting, so where my heart is more. But in the future, everything is possible. I believe in. I believe not to be closed in the mind. Okay, this is the only thing I do. Be open to any option. But for now, I'm focusing on Muay Thai, and just I keep it big, get it more of the exposure. Make it the. Hopefully we will be the face for martial arts now in Israel, but hopefully in the world.
Your other brother, I don't want to butcher the name. Is it how do you pronounce his name? Because I don't want to. Kibedi. Okay. Yeah. So he's a MMA fighter, correct? Yeah. And did he also do the same thing where he started with Muay Thai and then transitioned to MMA?
Yes, we all started from Muay Thai, and then eventually after he finished the military service, he wanted to go straight and make a dream and become an MMA fighter and get to the UFC.
So is it he's the oldest of you three, or
for us three?
Yeah. And then it's you, and then it's Ahavat. Oh, I see. So logically speaking, probably the next step to go to the MMA would be Ruach first, and then Ahavat, if we're going age based. But guys, can I just ask you something that I was interested in? Looking at the UFC right now and how the popularity of it hasn't really grown that much. The financials have, everyone's, talking about all the deals, the Paramount deal, whatever. But the hype, I feel has died down a little bit, because at some point it was the fastest growing sport in the United States, the biggest events, the biggest pay-per-views. Obviously, Conor was there, and the sport was in its peak, I feel in 2016, 17, 18. Doesn't it feel a little bit the UFC hype has gone down a little bit?
100% true. It did go down because each sport, each organization needs superstars to survive. And when you don't have a superstar to carry it, so people lose interest. So when you had Conor, when you have the era with Conor and Khabib and all that fight, so people were entertained, that they sold, but it doesn't really matter the level of the fights, because it's as you could be a fan and love the sport, okay, you watch, but most of the people it's not just the love for the sport, it's the entertainment. So if you don't have the entertainment, so you lose the hype. So they need superstars, and Taporia is doing it, but it's still not there yet. But
it doesn't feel the same way that
it doesn't feel the same,
other guys. Yeah.
It's emotion. You need a lot of emotion to feel it.
Yeah. And I feel the generation of those fighters that we followed back 10 years ago, that's going away, and the new generation just hasn't yet caught the attention, as much as.
I mean, as the level, I think the level was really high. You have really good level fighters, but the people who are invested in really good skillful fighters are not major. The major people don't really understand the sport, understand the rules, and they get invested, in
Personalities,
entertainment.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like the level of the sport is obviously growing because more and more.
You got today the calf kicks,
Yeah.
all kind of different new techniques that people use where you didn't see them before. And obviously today, if people use that technique against the old version of the style, they will beat them, because I feel like MMA is like a really big sport. It's like so many disciplines and there's so many holes in it. And as long as it grows, the holes are being filled, in the MMA fighting.
Yeah, I agree. There used to be fighters that we used to call pure strikers, pure wrestlers, pure grapplers, jiu-jitsu players. But now, if you're not good at everything, at least, to that level of survival, then you're not going to be a champion, let's say. You can't just be a good kickboxer. You can't just be a good Muay Thai fighter as a MMA fighter. But we're here to talk about UTMA. We're here to talk about your careers as well. And I was just curious, having this level of success at this moment, Ahavat, I mean, your nickname says probably all you need to know. Golden Boy, 11-0, pro record in Muay Thai, correct? 6 KOs there too. How does that feel to you? Like, do you feel the weight of it? Do you feel pressure, or maybe it works the other way where you're even more motivated? You're only 19 years old, correct? Or is it 20 now? I don't know when your birthday is, but you're still young and there's a lot of success coming your way. How does it feel to you personally?
It feels amazing. I enjoy it because I've been training really hard, and the success is stuff that I always aim for. I always aim for the popularity, for the exposure, because I always saw, first fight I ever saw was Conor McGregor, obviously. And
which one was that? Just out of curiosity.
It was before his fight, Eddie Alvarez. I started watching his highlight fights, but then the first fight I saw live was him against Eddie Alvarez.
Okay.
And then I already went to all his fights. I saw and I stood. I was pretty young then, but I understood really fast that you need to be famous. You just can't be a regular fighter. You could be the highest level fighter, but nobody knows you. And I wanted to be someone that people know. So I've been aiming. I opened a TikTok. I started doing just nonsense and funny videos, and then I got some exposure. So I was always aiming and praying for this stuff to happen. And so I'm not surprised that it's happening now, actually, because I always imagined, I dreamed about this moment, that people know my name, people will want to take pictures of me and doing campaigns and stuff that normal fighters in Israel never had.
I probably would not be wrong if I said that, Ruach, you also didn't have that when you started your career, and the way it has gone so far. It wasn't to the level of Ahavat's exposure and all that. Were you surprised by your brother's success and how fast it all built up? And obviously right now, what the level of, let's say, attention there is towards your brother?
Yeah, 100% for sure. I mean, after the first fight here already, he gained so many followers, and so much more new sponsors and stuff like that. Exposure, it's crazy. Stuff we never expected, because, fighting in Thailand, that stage is it's bigger for Muay Thai and stuff. So we didn't expect it at all. But, this organization in UTMA is doing such a good job in pushing the sport into new levels of publicity and entertainment, which brings the fighters, the exposure they deserve.
And, you spoke about the part of exposure, being popular and all those parts, but you can't have that if you're not a great fighter. And I wanted to talk about this side of the sport, because obviously you brought up Conor McGregor as an example of a person who had his whole country with him, supporting him. Also, he got to the highest of highs, fighting Floyd Mayweather, going that far. But after that, there was a big downfall. After he got enormous amounts of money, we saw how he stopped really fighting as often. Then in the fights he fought, he had the last 4 fights, probably 3 losses. Last win, I remember, against Donald Cerrone. How do you see that? How do you stay disciplined, stay focused on the sports part whenever you're getting so much success? And obviously the money is going to grow if the success keeps happening. How do you Have you ever even thought about these things so far, or you're not even focusing on that?
Of course, I see what happened to all the stars and the falling stars. I have a big faith, you know. I stay humble because I know, like I always say, like my power comes from God, and I have a lot of belief, and I pray all the time, and that keeps me like down to earth. And just to know, at the end of the day, I'm not really doing it for myself. I'm doing it for my people. I was put here to do a mission, and I know my mission is to be the best in the world and like show what you can do with God's help. So that's what I always say, and always remind myself that my power comes from God and everything comes from God, and I'm nothing. I'm just a pawn in the game. And that will keep me down to earth, keep me humble, and I pray to God that, you know, just keep me like this with the hunger, because with the hunger I could get everything. And what do you think about like Conor McGregor when he actually bought all his country with him? So I remember like sitting 2 years ago before like any exposure, and I was like sitting with some people in Israel they work in like around like one of the spokesmen of Israel. So they were saying, what's my plan? I'm like, my biggest plan is to do what Conor McGregor do, to be the Israeli Conor McGregor, but like in my own way. And I'm like, and I look now back at it, and I'm looking what happened now. So I'm saying, hey, I did it. Like I became the Israeli Conor McGregor. Like everybody knows the sport, everybody's fine the sport. So it's fun to see when you have like plan and you pray and you go toward it and you always see it. So it happens.
Yeah, I feel like faith is the key difference between you and, let's say, Conor in terms of direction in life, because, you know, all the extracurricular activities he was involved in and still probably is, that's what probably, you know, with all the money, you slip, I feel like. 100%. And if you're, I agree that, you know, if you keep with that mindset, I feel like you'll avoid those, you know, the
I have
big
this
holes.
in my head, this is called a
Right.
kippah, and it's basically just to remind you, you have someone above you, so like don't think you're something. Stay humble.
Have you ever had these discussions with your brother as well, as the success, you know, kept building up? Or
Never really had like a proper discussion, but like I was always like kind of looking and sometimes maybe worried about the situation and stuff. You know, like before his last fight against a Turkish guy, he had like a long drive to do, actually, like some campaign, you know, for short Bible training camp. I was like, yo, like it's gonna make you tired for the evening training, so you probably shouldn't travel. I mean, he was like, no, it's fine. He does manage, you know, to get along with it, you know, and kind of keep his focus and stay in his routine. Just because, like, as for me personally, you know, I know I have to have my routine, you know, the time I train, the time I sleep, and, you know, if stuff come between it, so it kind of if like I miss my training, you know, it can make me worried too much, or, you know, if I have to travel in the middle of the day while training, it can also make me tired for like the next training. So I was just like haven't really had proper discussion, just like you know, telling a couple of times, like just be careful not to be carried away by it.
Right. Before we continue, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's episode, Amusenet. And Amusenet is this international software company that develops and delivers high-performance digital products, technology solutions for the global iGaming industry with 10 years of history. The company's core expertise is in software engineering, platform-ready integrations, and scalable content. Also, they're supporting partners operating in regulated markets worldwide. So if you want to find out more information about Amusenet, it's all available at amusenet.com. And there's a long-term technological development and a lot of quality, scalability that you'll find using their platform. What is your ultimate goal generally? Like in 10 years, let's say, you two come back to this podcast, we sit down here. What have you guys accomplished in your careers? Let's start with you, Rock.
And my career, so right now it's really hard to say. I was supposed to fight in one championship. Due to unfortunate reasons, it was cancelled. And so as for now, that's like, you look at that, you say, okay, for that, Muay Thai is like the biggest organization in the world. I would say, now my goal is pretty different, to bring Muay Thai to Israel, make it global, become the starter, build a huge promotion organization, to get fighters from all over the world, the best fighters in the world, and to make that like the next one championship just like better in our own way.
And I would assume as some sort
Us
of a
to be-
championship title.
Yeah,
is
to
in
be the embassy, us to be the faces of it.
Right.
That's my main goal now.
And what about you, Ahavat? How does it look in 10 years when you're 29 years old and you've done, what have you done in your, let's say, dream scenario?
So I always say I get this question a lot, often, and the first thing I say is, first of all, family. Like, I want to get married, I want to have kids, because that's the real thing at the end of the day.
That's such a mature answer from you. You know what I mean? Like, that's a nice answer to hear.
Thank
I'm not gonna lie.
That's the real thing, and then they come back to my family because they're gonna be with me all the time, and I create amazing kids, and they can continue. Not exactly the sport, but continue what I'm doing. It's uniting a lot of people together, and in the sports side, to achieve my dreams. I have my own dreams and what I believe I'm here to do on earth. But if God decides something else, I'll do something else. But obviously, become first of all UTMA champion, then also the kickboxing champion. I already see it in my head. I see everything in my head. I'm gonna become the Muay Thai champion, the kickboxing champion, 63. And then if Vitas decides to go to kickboxing, I'll take the 65 belt. And then we'll see what's next. But continue in growing the sport, making Muay Thai known to everyone, then be the best fighter in the world.
You know what I love the most in your whole projection of your future is that UTMA is a part of it in your talks, what you're saying. So do you see, for the nearest future that this is where the platform you want to be on and where to fight?
100%, because I feel already part, the plans I have are part with you guys. As much as I have promoted the organization, you also have promoted me. So it's a win-win, and a handshake is the other hand. And, I really think this UTMA can be I know it's going to be one of the biggest organizations in the world. It's a matter of time. So if I be part of it, I want to be part of it,
What you just said, if someone told our CEO, our co-founders, UTMA could be one of the biggest organizations in the world 2 years ago or 3 years ago, whenever it started, really, 2022, I believe, or 23 was, but I can't be quoted on that. They'd probably kind of laugh a little bit, because this organization, just to give you some context, guys, this organization started as one-off event for Dovydas Rimkus and Dominikas Dirkstys to have a fight, essentially. Let's say the short version of it is for them to have a fight, and then other fights were obviously put into the prelims, and they even didn't think that this name, UTMA, Unique Talented Martial Artist, this is the final name. They thought this is for one event, maybe we'll go with another title for a different event. And basically, they did one, they did another one, another event. Then they did first two, I believe, were in a cage as well. So there were kickboxing fights, but in a cage, not in the ring. And then it just kind of kept building up, because we also have in Lithuania those eccentric guys who not necessarily have achieved much internationally or generally speaking, but they are just drawing attention to themselves with their personalities. And those guys fighting became a big point of interest for a lot of Lithuanians. So that's how this organization started, from also the show part more than the sport part first. And then it grew to a little bit of a different sports hall that was maybe 4,000 people capacity. And then after 3, 4, 5 events in that sports hall, UTMA moved to the Žalgiris Arena. So from UTMA 9, I believe, UTMA has been happening in Žalgiris Arena, and they basically signed all the biggest Lithuanian names. they're essentially, the fight we're talking about, the big UTMA 18 event. Sergey Musselboyev, Glory Kickboxing, 2-time Glory Kickboxing champion, is fighting in this card. So this is how much it has grown. I'm just, when you said one of the biggest in the world, I just feel like, it's crazy to think back, how it started, how it has grown, and the potential it has to grow further. Yeah. And I feel like you guys, both of you guys, all the other potential signings in the future of international talent is how this, let's say what you just said, becomes reality, because essentially you're the first ever scheduled. Now we haven't broken the news yet, but Ahavat's opponent is unable to come to UTMA 18 because of visa issues from Thailand, and in Thailand at the moment there's some holidays, national holidays, so there are some issues with the visa. He's not coming, and you have a different opponent. But that fight was scheduled to be a title fight between two foreigners, essentially. So this is the next step, in our organization, to have two foreigners fighting for a title. And okay, that fight is not going to happen, but I feel like in the future it will. Yeah. In the future, you will fight for the title. So yeah, any reflections to what
I
wanted
I was
to
say,
about?
like in the press conference, and I was saying that bringing a Thai to the event, and a high-level Thai, like a really good high-level Thai, it's a big statement for you guys that you do want to expand and become like really a big organization. And I was gonna say like good job to you guys for like doing it, because you want to be big and you're doing the stuff to be big. And then I heard I saw a post that Superlik is gonna be in his corner, and I was like, why not call him for the next fight? Fighting Superlik, fighting Rotang is my biggest dreams to do in Muay Thai. So call him out for a fight to come to Lithuania. And I believe it's something you could do in the future. I believe you could bring I heard Rotang's having problem with one, so I bring Rotang here to fight me. I think it's something it could happen. And I can see it happen. I know it's gonna happen, let's see like that. I know it's gonna happen. And bringing my brother here, people don't know, but in my eyes, he's the best fighter in the world. And if he fights in one championship for the belt there, he's gonna be champion there. So,
but Ahavat, if you're saying he's the best fighter in the world, is he better than you then?
You could ask my mom. We fight in the house all the time. But I think, he's a higher level fighter than me. He won the best fighter in the world. So bring him here is also a big statement.
IFMA thing?
IFMA and RWS, he got to the finals there. And in my eyes, he's a champion there because they robbed him totally in the finals.
I saw a lot of reactions.
And
there was a
he won View. Whoever knows View is one of the best fighters in the world. So he made a name for himself. He won the fighters that he could call himself one of the best fighters in the world. So you're gonna see high level fights that never been here. So together we can make it really people who won championship want to come here often. I already got a lot of messages from fighters. Hey, what's that organization? Can I come fight there? Can you connect me? So we're on the right path.
Right.
Having us both here is definitely an event you only have to fly to Thailand to see. And now you can fly to Lithuania to watch really the top level of Muay Thai in the world here in Lithuania.
Right. Have you guys ever fought on the same event, in the same tournament?
Yeah, it's happened once in RWS, I think 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think the double Gordon effect will bring in even more Israeli or Jewish fans to watch this specific event, or it's just is it going to be bigger, do you think, than the last one you were in?
Would they come physical?
No, both actually, both.
Because of the war now, so it was supposed to have at least, I think 2,000 is ready to come. So much messages that came, or people even bought the ticket, but the flights got canceled.
Right.
So because of the situation, I don't know how many will come. Hopefully as much as possible they could come, but it's it doesn't have straight flights. West doesn't fly now. So they need to do a circle, but I think it's inevitable that every house is going to watch this fight. They're going to sit down and watch the event for the beginning, because he's fighting in the beginning.
Right.
So I know they're all going to watch and all excited because they're really into it now.
Rock, let's talk about your fight first, and then we'll get to Ahavat's fight. How do you feel about your opponent? How ready are you for the fight? Like how's the feeling in general? What's your thoughts about the fight?
So I like 2 months ago already arrived to Thailand for a training camp for a fight I was supposed to have on the April 10th in one championship. So I'm like over a week ready. Already prepared. I was supposed to be face an experienced Thai fighter, and now I'm gonna last minute gonna fight this Turkish fighter coming from IFMA amateur Muay Thai. Not much experience in professional fights.
He's I believe his name is Hussein Dolu. He's European and World Championship in the amateur IFMA, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but this is professional. It's different.
Right.
I fought amateur and I fought professional. And it's not the same.
You can't compare
style,
those
no,
two
it's
things,
not the
right?
same. Like, you can be like a good athlete and be a world champion in Muay Thai, but to be a world champion in professional Muay Thai, you have to be a fighter. Not only an athlete. You have to be willing to spit blood, to bite hard down, and to fight. And he doesn't have that experience that I have. Like, I really fought like the top fighters in the world. Rajamnan, Lumpini champions. As you look at that resume, and he just doesn't have any experience. So obviously I'm never
Underestimate.
Yeah, I never underestimate anyone, but I'm just super confident.
Right.
Due to my past and due to the fighter I become, I will just end it however way I want and whenever I want. And this fight, I'm really looking forward to have some time in the ring. Since I won silver medal in the World Games, I had like a long break. I haven't fought for 8 months. So now I'm like hungry more than ever and motivated to get back in the ring. So I want to have a good time there, show the fans my skill, introduce myself in the ring, introduce the storm to the fans, and ended it in a spectacular way.
Ahavat, your brother Ruach is not known to our fans, to UTMA fans. How would you describe his fighting style, just generally what he is as a fighter compared to you? Because we know how you fight. How would you say you are different from like fighting standpoint?
As his nickname is Payu. That's in Thai. It's a storm. That's I think that's the way he fights. He throws stuff, and you get hit from everywhere, from the legs to the head to the body, and you don't even see it coming. So it's really like a storm, a hurricane even. I think it's a little similar now with the movement of the small gloves, but it's different. I think I move more. I'm not sure. He could say it better.
Would you say he fights more like traditional Thai style than you?
You know what? Usually, yeah. But now with the small gloves, I'm excited as well to see how he's gonna fight with the small gloves. How it's gonna change, because it needs to change a bit the style. So I think we're gonna see something new from him.
How do you feel about the small gloves?
Yeah, I mean the hands are flying, and I'm just like super excited, just to throw some hands on him, and land a perfect shot and send him out on a stretcher. But yeah, like my style different than Ahavat. I would say it's like more of a Muay Thai traditional fights, because Ahavat has like a lot of experience in kickboxing before, so it's like much more footwork, much more movement. But like we were training partners since the day we started training, so our style is pretty same. We train under the same coach, under the same training camp. So you do see it different on our styles, but obviously it's also like similar in the fighting IQ and the speed and the movement, that aspects.
Okay, well, I'm excited to see what the other Gordon experience will look like, because now we've got to see you twice, Ahavat, and we could talk about these fights a little bit. Were you, Ruach, in Kaunas watching these fights? Were you here?
I was in his corner, yeah.
Yeah, so you were watching them live, right?
Yeah.
The first two.
I was there to make sure his opponents make it out of the alive.
What do you mean by that? Is there more to what you just said, or more of a joke? What do you mean?
No, I was there to support him, but
Right.
it's like more of a joke, because
Okay.
Obviously you can just, kill them.
Would you say your brother showed his true potential, what he's capable of in those first two fights. Let's talk about the first one, the debut against Nauris Bartoška, an MMA fighter, Irish Lithuanian. That was a stoppage in the second round, if I'm not mistaken. And how did you see that fight? Did you see the best version of your brother at that point, to that point, let's say?
In that fight where I saw him, he was very excited, I would say. It was just like outclassed. He saw everything in slow motion, whatever Bartoška threw away, you know, and it always like takes him maybe a couple of seconds or even like one round to just like reset and find his perfect shots. And he kept dropping him in the first round. In the second round, he just found the perfect shot to finish the fight. And same as in the Turkish fight with the Turkish, it was a really hard fight because he just didn't want to fight. He tried to avoid any interaction on the standing up. And
there were a lot of falling down.
Yeah, he kept falling down. He kept holding on to Ahavat. So I believe that prevented him to show his true potential. He had to show his true potential. I believe he could have shown it in this fight. Actually, with this authentic Muay Thai fighter, with a Muay Thai style, who wants to fight, who's a fighter, and Bartoška's like MMA style and stuff. And Ali, the last opponent, just didn't want to fight. He just keep
from the second round. It stopped being a Muay Thai fight.
If like he would just stand up and fighting, his face would be cut up so much, and like you can really thank the judge for being there the referee for being there between them.
Right. Where did you feel better? Which fight did you enjoy more?
I'm not sure because it's just as the question. So like, no, I didn't show my true potential because showing your true potential is against a worthy opponent, and I don't think both of them was a worthy opponent. I think it was just more to prove to everybody who's watching that like, hey, I'm a different level. You need to bring someone a different level here to if I can show my real self. Most of my best fights were against the highest level fighters. So I think actually with the fight with the Thai, I would have shown my potential to show how good I am and be extra sharp, because when you have a killer in front of you, you can't make mistakes. And when I don't make mistakes, I'm the best version. And the last fights, I watch it maybe once or twice. It's enough because like I see, I'm not happy with what I see because I made a lot of mistakes, and it's hard when you have an opponent that's not your level. But a fight will come, and I'll have a worthy opponent and a high level fight, and there you'll see my true potential.
Yeah, with all like due respect, his fights were entertaining and stuff, but like he fought more experienced fighters, and you really seen him like throwing elbow after elbow after elbow, and like unlike this Bartoška from falling from any anything that he being thrown to. It's against tough Thai fighters, and you see them like absorbing his best shots, and then eventually they fell. But yeah, he had like a very good, very good fights, very good shows against experienced fighters.
Right. I mean, against Koyuncu, I remember you really worked his leg, and that's the reason the fight was stopped by his corner, because he just couldn't continue on that leg to put weight even. And I wanted to ask you, like, was it really personal to you, that fight? Because you said, I want to make my opponent cry. Then after the fight, you said, I successfully did that, because he, in the corner, he was showing pain, and you want to call it crying, yeah. And he quit the fight, let's say. Did it feel like, oh, I wanted to do that to him? Like, was it personal to you?
100%, he said stuff. I don't like to say it, but he made it politic. He brought politics, and like when the second you bring politics into a fight, I hate it. And I think sports is a place where that's the place you don't bring politics into. So that's when he made it personal, and I said, okay, I'm gonna smash him, and I wanted to continue. I knew the third round I'm gonna find the shot to like put his lights out. I went back to my corner. My heart rate beat from the first round to the second round went down. So I went down. From the second round, I was like, I'm not gonna knock out the third round. And I was looking, but I was seeing what's happening there. And then I saw, and then I was happy because I won, but and then I was upset that I couldn't find the
Not the highlight finish you
not
kind
the
of were hoping
walkout. I
for.
was already imagining the walkout, the KO, so I could drop him, just turn around. But it didn't happen. But it will happen. So I was happy with the way he went out, because I think that's the most embarrassing way you could go. If you're a fighter, you never quit, no matter what. He's not built for. He wasn't built for the sport. I think he could go fight somewhere else. Never give up a fight. Never.
Right. Now we could pivot to your next fight that is happening on Saturday, and obviously very fresh news that your opponent got replaced. Did you have even a chance to look up who he is and anything about his fighting style, his experience, anything you know about your opponent?
I hope it's confirmed.
I was told that it is confirmed, and this is that we can talk about it. Yeah.
So obviously, about cancellation of the tie, it's heartbreaking. I was really seeing me becoming the champion, and now when enjoying it, and I prepared hard. It's a 5-round fight, so I prepared extra hard and pushed myself and did extra. And my mind was always, am I prepared enough? Am I prepared enough? So I was just pushing myself to the limit. So when it got cancelled, so I was bummed to hear out, but I believe everything happens for a reason. So I saw his fight. Could say appreciate for him taking the fight. I heard they offered the fight to a lot of people and they cancelled it, and I don't understand why.
I think we understand why. On a short notice to fight you, I don't think there's a big list of people who want to do that.
Offer them a lot, and then I'll fight them after if they want in kickboxing. I'll do it for them. So I don't underestimate anybody. I'm gonna come 100% focused, 100% sharp. I'm gonna find my shots, but I don't believe it's my level. It's really hard to find a fighter at my level outside Thailand.
Right.
So I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and then wait for the next fight.
What's the promise to the fans? Let's say, what emotion will the fans feel after your fight? How does it finish? And
happy because I'm gonna win. It's gonna be this is gonna be 100% a walk out KO. Please don't give up, and please come on to the fight. But I think it's gonna be disrespectful to him if I just finish him in the first round. Because, at the end of the day, he took the fight and everything. So I'm going to let it last.
But as I understand, that's inevitable in your eyes.
It's inevitable, but I think it's disrespectful. So I'm going to let it last to the second round at least. Yeah.
I see. So in your vision, it's all in your hands how this fight goes, essentially. It doesn't really...
I didn't see too much of him, but I believe 5-10 seconds into the fight, I'll see his holes and I'll know what to do, and I'll decide when to... put him down.
And that's probably something that a lot of fans and people who don't fight imagine, that you can just scout your opponent and know exactly what to do, what the game plan is. But once you're there, have you ever felt like I've prepared, whatever game plan I have, and then you have to change it almost immediately after the first minute, because you see, in reality, it's different. I have to adjust. I have to do different things. Has that ever happened to you, Ruach?
I believe I always had a good plan. I just had to change it according to the judges. One time at World Championship and in the World Games against the same opponent, I really had a good first round. I actually believe I won. But the referees were corrupted. I don't know, they were amateurs. They didn't know how to score, and they scored the first round against me. Then I had to change my good plan, and the other plan didn't work. So it's kind of screwed up the whole fight due to that. But yeah, I've always feel like we have the proper plan coming up. We work with our coach, with our team, with each other. We built a perfect plan. I mean, even for this Thai guy, and we had a perfect plan what to do against him. We worked so much. And for my first opponent at one championship too, we had a perfect plan, and things always changes. This is the fight life, know. We're experienced. We know what to do in the last minute and how to adjust.
Let's talk about one of our mutual friend, Vitas Karosas, actually, because that's Lithuanian who we've seen between all the Israeli fans in the last event. He was wearing the kippah as well, and we were kind of joking now that he has converted now. We're not sure.
We also joke about it. Yeah, we're gonna convert him in the end. Yeah.
How did that relationship start with him? How is it all? How is it? How did it start?
So first of all, like you want to know, like he introduced me to this organization and he helped me with my first fight. Like he talked to Vitas and then he connected me to him to make this fight happen.
Did you meet in Israel? Or?
So we met in Thailand, Phuket, as a training camp. We started talking, became friends over there, and then he told me about this organization. Then I was like, then I checked his Instagram and I saw, wow, nice, like it's big events and everything.
It's not in the school's, let's say, sports hall or something.
Yeah.
So
like he was saying about it, like it was cool. But then I saw his Instagram, I was like, what?
Yeah.
This is in Europe and I don't know about this organization. It was cool. So I was following it and then I saw him fight there and then I was watching. And I met there also other friend that also fought here. So I was interested and it was always in my mind, also my mom's mind. So I was supposed to fight in one championship and then bad stories, but it didn't happen. And I was so bummed and I didn't know what to do because I was planning to get to the contract, fight the best, win the belt. But then it's still okay. This cannot happen here, and I was thinking what to do, what to fight. Maybe transfer straight away to MMA, to boxing. I don't know. But then my mom were thinking, was like, hey, maybe let's contact Vitas about the organization. Send him a message. Then like after a week already, I had a fight booked in the UTMA.
Right.
And they were happy to have me, and I was happy to be here. And like everything was so professional, and I enjoyed it so much. And I was like, hey, I need to be back here.
So we need to thank Vitas for your presence,
Vitas,
right?
100%.
Okay. And has that relationship even strengthened further after you debuted here? And because I saw him in Israel.
Yeah, I wasn't there. I was at photo shoots, but he was at my house and I trained with Ruach, and we were good friends. My mom was a good friend with him. I'm gonna invite him even to my wedding. Like we're really good friends. And I'm really excited for this fight. And he's really like the support he gives us, so helped us with a lot of things. So it's thanks to him.
It's a big fight coming up for Vitas. He's fighting for a title, 5-rounder against Cengiz Lale, another Turkish fighter from that same card that you were fighting on last. And Lale sort of made a big statement. He won against one of the biggest combat sports legends in Lithuania in general, Davidas Danila, did it convincingly. That was definitely a statement win. And how do you guys see this challenge for Vitas Karosas, the Lale as a Muay Thai fighter? Because he is a kickboxer, first of all, but now he's shown that he can fight Muay Thai. How do you see this challenge for Vitas? Is it a big one?
His style is a bit clumsy. He just maybe has some power. As long as Vitas keep his chin down, stay in plan, be precise with his strikes. I 100% believe he will win. He will beat this Lale guy.
Mm-hmm. Do you have Ahavat any advice you would give, or maybe you already gave to Vitas about this fight?
We didn't talk about it too much, but I had like one or two advices I would give him that I saw like definite holds.
Okay.
But he's not this Vitas level.
He did get like caught in the first round. I mean, he did get knocked down once or twice. So we can obviously see his holes in his game.
Because the thing is, Danila has won against Vitas. That's one of the things that is in the history books. And then obviously now Lale beat Danila. So I know this math in combat sports doesn't work usually. But you could say that, it is a big challenge. If you guys see a lot of holes, I give it to you. You're the experts. What I saw was quite dangerous hands from the Turkish fighter. And I think just for Vitas, he definitely cannot underestimate his opponent. Obviously, it's a title fight. And I'm very excited about that because for Vitas, it's been quite a while. He hasn't defended his title in over a year, I believe. So this is his second defense, and if he does it successfully, he'll be the only guy who has done that so far. So a great fight coming up for Vitas. And about the main event, did you guys know about Musselboyev before coming here? And did you learn about him, as you started fighting in UTMA? What do you think about this fight in general?
So I heard about the fight and I know Musselboyev as a glory champion, but not too much. Just maybe saw a fight or two, and like when I understood he's gonna beat the main event, so I was like, hey, it's a big card. For me to be co-main event, I'm also like happy for it. But it's really gonna be a big card, and happy to fight with people like that on the card. It's fun. It means a lot.
And do you know about his opponent, who he is? Or?
And I saw his opponent. I think he's a funny guy, but I don't think he's at the level I saw his last fight.
I think he's an entertaining fighter more than a true fighter.
He is 23 years old. I wouldn't say or 22, I'm not sure, but I wouldn't say he's like not a true fighter. I just think he's not experienced yet. He hasn't experienced as much. You can't even compare to Musselboyev, who's 38 years old. He's been in the sport for 20 years, and then Ignas Poliukaitis has been in the sport for 4 years. So this is the difference probably. And he is entertaining, in his own way, in his own character that he's playing. And it's just that there's a lot of hype because both sides talk a lot and they have said a lot already. So whenever they meet up on Saturday, a lot of emotions will be felt from everyone, I believe. That'll be a culmination of a great night. Hopefully, I wish all of you, both of you the wins. I wish Vitas the win as well. I wish, a great fight night for, all the fans tuning in, all the fans in the arena. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of our first English episode of the UTMA podcast. And I do hope this is not the last one.
Yeah, the first English podcast I think me and brother had as well. Usually the old podcasts were in Hebrew. So first for us as well.
Right. And you guys did great. Thank you for all your insights as well. Guys, don't forget to like, hype, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future videos and episodes.